Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yusuf Badat here for Ramadan Inspirations, episode number 4. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhuma is the son of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh. His name was Abdullah. He is known as a replica and a person who would constantly imitate the actions and the practice of the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him. And one of his habits was, during the month of Ramadan, he would never have suhoor. He would never have iftar. He would never have any meal without the masakin, the poor and the needy, with him. This was his sense of generosity. This was his sense of giving. And this was his sense of attachment with those who were less fortunate. So the month of Ramadan is a time to be inspired for charity and generosity. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma mentions about the generosity of the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, and in a narration that is found in Sahih Bukhari, explains that كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجود الناس بالخير. The most generous from amongst us was the Messenger, peace and blessings upon him, in all acts of goodness. وأجود ما يكون في شهر رمضان, and the greatest of generosity that we observed in the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, was during the blessed month of Ramadan. So the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, increased all his goodness and his generosity, his kindness, his giving, specifically in the blessed month of Ramadan. So let us be inspired to also increase our charity, and especially in the world that we live in today, where every bulletin we see, there are people that are suffering internationally, locally, abroad. You know, we are so blessed, for those of us who are living in North America, where we have so much blessings. We have so in plentiful. We have everything, and there's nothing really to worry about. Whereas in some parts of the world, we find that people don't even have the basic necessities. They say through different studies that 80% of the world's population lives below the poverty line, less than $3-4 a day. So we are extremely blessed, and we should constantly thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever He has given us. And when we appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises He will definitely increase us in our provisions. So the blessed month of Ramadan is a time to share, whatever we have. We may feel that, I'm finding it difficult to pay my cell phone bill, or I'm finding it difficult to make ends meet, etc. We're not being asked to give exorbitant amounts. Yes, those of us who have plentiful in large amounts and we have the capacity, Allah knows what we have, we should give according to our capacity. However, many of us who may be middle class or struggling, or just getting by, we should make it a habit to give some. The author of Madarik al-Tanzil, which is a great tafsir, in there he makes a mention that how do we make us amongst ourselves amongst the munfiqeen. The munfiqeen is a special station by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of those who spend, those who constantly give, those who constantly give charity. So this is a hallmark of the believers, and Allah makes a mention in the Quran in several verses praising the believers, saying they are munfiqeen. They are those who generously give. So the author of Madarik al-Tanzil puts a question to us, that how do we make ourselves amongst the munfiqeen? So he comes to a conclusion through his research and his understanding that if we at least give a few dollars, if we give at least a few coins, if we give a little, at least every week, once in a week in the minimum, then inshallah we will be considered amongst the munfiqeen. So the blessed month of Ramadan is a month of kindness and sharing. There are many people who suffer locally and across the world. We'd be surprised how many people within our local communities as well, they rely on food banks, they rely on different programs, hot soup kitchens, etc. So let us give from whatever we can during this blessed month of Ramadan. It's mentioned in regards to the generosity of Imam Hamad, who is the teacher of Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, Imam Hamad ibn Abi Sulaiman. يفطر في شهر رمضان 500 إنسان. He would make arrangements of iftar for 500 poor people. Every single day he would make arrangements for the iftar, for meals, for 500 people. وإنه كان يعطيهم بعد العيد لكل واحد 100 درهم. And he would gift 100 dirhams to every one of these poor people, 500 of them, on the day of Eid or after the day of Eid, with this gift of 100 dirhams, 100 gold coins. So, mashallah, these are great super examples of our pious predecessors. When Ramadan would come, they would give generously, they would pour out. It's mentioned regarding Abdullah ibn Mubarak, he would take groups for Hajj, and he would collect money from people before departing, that we need some money to make the arrangements of travel and go to Hajj, etc. So he would take everyone's contributions, and he would spend throughout the journey to them upon them, and make the accommodations for their food, for their residence, and for their comfort. And upon the return, Abdullah ibn Mubarak radiallahu an, he would return all the money that was given back, that was given to him for their expenses. He would return it back to them, and he would say that all the expenses are on my shoulder, and this is from my sacrifice that I anticipate reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are great examples, and we all as human beings, we have the heart to give. We are people who share. We love to help. So let us intensify this quality of giving, infaq fi sabilillah, helping and giving charity and helping the needy, being there for the less fortunate, and by doing so, we will be following the traits of the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, and the pious predecessors. So let us not wait for an opportunity to give. We should find people where we can give, and organizations and relief organizations, etc., where we can constantly give. Make it a habit to give and to allocate a certain portion of our wealth for the needy. When we make someone smile, when we fulfill the needs of someone else, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make us smile. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill our needs. Wallahu fi awni al-abdi ma kana al-abdu fi awni akhi. Allah will remain in the assistance of an individual as long as they are assisting others. So we should not take it as a favor that we are helping the less fortunate. We should actually look at as a favor that there are less fortunate people within the communities, where we can give our donations, our sadaqat, our khayrat, our zakat, our charitable donations and funds. There are people that are able to accept them, and through them we are able to fulfill this obligation of giving and being charitable. So let us continue to help others and make people smile. Let me conclude with a statement of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. It's mentioned radiyallahu an, that when he would come to know that a certain land, the people were in a drought, and it started raining, and the drought was over, he would become elated, he would smile, he would become so joyous, and the people would ask him, why are you in such a positive mood and such joy and pleasure? So he said, I've just received the news that such and such a people were in a drought, and they were going through difficulty, and Allah has sent down rain, and that brings so much happiness to me, that there are believers and there are human beings that are there who are now not suffering anymore. So by giving, by being charitable, we help others, we bring smiles upon the faces of people, we improve their lives, and most certainly by doing that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inspire us and make us be in conditions that are far better than that we are in already. So may the month of Ramadan continue to bring us blessings and bounties, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the best in this life as well as in the hereafter. فجزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.